Okay, so this will be about a somewhat controversial topic. This topic involves crap, not only nicotine regulations in the US, but also drug education. So, first of all, this is probably going to be a long rant. So, if you're in for a long rant, then stick around. Otherwise, it's not for you. Anyway, hold up. So, when I started high school, especially as a freshman, I saw people vaping everywhere. I'm like, why in the world would you bring your vape device to school? It's just asking for trouble, right? You know, you shouldn't be just bringing shit like this to school, right? One thing I failed to realize until I actually was addicted to nicotine is how much of a vice it can be. So if you want a learning environment where people can actually be successful in learning, you gotta understand that some people may not have gone down the right path in their life and may have chose to make a wrong choice and get addicted. So instead of focusing on banning vape products in school or nicotine products in general, banning nicotine completely in school, which I think is ludicrous because at the same time they're serving tomato paste and other stuff in lunch, which if they ban nicotine products in total, and I'll leave some links in the description down below, but the whole nightshade family of plants contain nicotine and other alkaloids, some of which can make you trip balls. Nicotine is not one of those. Okay. But some of them can kill you. Some of them are death instant like that. Some of them are toxic, but in the low concentrations are found in nightshade family of products like tobacco, which is the highest concentration of nicotine, tomatoes, peppers, even found in the leaves of cocoa plant, which is used obviously in making the actual cocoa bean is what's used in making chocolate. Either way, amounts of nicotine, identifiable amounts, have been found in chocolate. Manufactured chocolate sold at stores, found in tomatoes. So it's not exclusive to tobacco or vape devices. Now you might be asking, then why don't people get addicted to eating tomatoes? The answer to that is addiction to a drug, and I know this for at least this applies to me and my experience. The first time I vaped was with some of my friends and my closest friends, and they passed me a vape and they're like, "Hey, hit this. I'll get you buzzed." Right? I hit it. I'm buzzed on my freaking mind. It's a 50 nic disposable, and this is 50 nic right here. And I was buzzed on my freaking mind. I go and want to hit it again. They're like, no. A week later, can I hit that again? Sure. At that rate, I was not getting addicted because the biggest two things for addiction are exposure and concentration. So if you have a constant exposure to a high concentration of a drug that's addictive, you're going to get addicted. However, nicotine, for example, if you have a low concentration like in tomatoes and a constant exposure, you're not going to get addicted. But if you have a high concentration and a very low exposure, you're still not going to get addicted. The difference is, so for example, I give this to a 10-year-old. Hey, hit this, blah, blah. Okay. Not that that's morally correct. I'm saying just technicalities here. and then I take it, don't give it to them for weeks on end. They're not going to get withdrawals, they're not addicted. Now, let's say I give this to them. I'm like, here, you can have this for the day. End of the day, they probably hit it a ton of times. So that's the issue. Another thing I'd like to point out, this whole hysteria, public hysteria that's caused over this, in the United States specifically, popcorn lung. Look up the CDC's and FDA's reports on what actually caused those popcorn lung cases. Although the people who are in the hospital from it will not admit it on social media or to any news outlets, the actual testing done shows that that was actually caused by vitamin E acetate, which is not in vape juice, however, is in a similar product that you vape. But similarities in there. It's through an electronic coil product that heats up this substance and causes it to vaporize. That's where the similarities end. It's a vaporizer. But the difference is this is e-liquid. This is nicotine, propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, and flavoring. What they were doing was called a dab cartridge or a cart or however you want to go about it. And those, hold up. Have an empty one on the floor somewhere here that I got for a friend for mock-up purposes back when I was gonna build a weird custom pin for these and I actually thought these were cool. Those look like this. This one's a bit beat up because it was with the kid, with my friend who got in a car accident. Very severe one at one point. Yeah, it's a bit tore up. It's has plier marks on it from one time when I was trying to pull it apart to fill it up with just regular e-juice, just as a fun experiment. Yeah, if you see that yellow color to it, you can find images of these online. I'll provide some links to information about these. But the actual ones get from dispensaries most of the time do not contain vitamin E acetate. That was used by black market people who were making these in their garages, in their homes, in their backyards, in their shed, in a random basement, underground in a bunker, whatever, on a street corner, in an alleyway, wherever the fuck they decided to do it, to thin out the dab, whatever you want to call it, the wax. The difference is vitamin E acetate is what was causing the popcorn lung issues. This has nothing to do with it. Thing number 2 that's causing mass hysteria. We don't know the potential future side effects. Well, within like 10 years, it was clear that people were dying from cigarettes. But cases weren't directly linked, especially since in the 50s when tobacco manufacturers started getting big and there were cases of people dying from lung-related injuries due to tobacco usage, that an agreement was made between almost all the states in the United States and the big tobacco companies. And these agreements state basically the following: that they'll get a percentage of what the tobacco companies make to make up for the freaking privacy update, is to make up for the deaths and issues caused by tobacco. I don't know if it skipped that, so shit is laggy as hell. Anything happens because the hard drive in this laptop's clicking away is almost completely dead. Thank God you hopefully can't hear that. Anyway, the point is the tobacco industries, major tobacco companies, big tobaccos, people call them whatever, made the agreement with the states. Every time, like every year, a percentage of their sales goes to the states to make up for that deaths happening. Now, the dark part about this is that was initially supposed to go to anti-smoking campaigns and just prevention campaigns, is what the states initially meant to put that towards. Not what happened. States went money, infrastructure, and instead of putting it into something that mattered, like, for example, I forgot it was California or Florida, I get them mixed up all the time. Anyway, the video I was watching earlier, and I actually looked up the statistics of it, was showing that they took their planned money for the future, like how much they should be making across the board, planned it all out, right? Didn't plan on this or anything else for that matter, and went and took a big loan out from Wall Street or however the hell it went down. They have a big ass loan and they use it to build all the infrastructure and shit. And you're thinking, okay, so I have a loan, interest rates go up. So all of a sudden, since interest rates are up, the loan was 50, 60 years ago, plus some, probably 80 years ago. I don't even care about figuring out. You start realizing this. Interest rates go up. And basically, since interest rates are going up, the amount of money they have to pay to keep this loan paid off is going up, right? They're having to pay more and more money. So all of a sudden, they're already in the hole. And then the money they're getting from tobacco companies, which should be covering it, plus they're having to pull funds from elsewhere to keep it covered by taxpayers' money, is being ruined by devices like this that actually are benefiting public health. But instead, since so many states are facing this issue, facing loss of funds because of it, and the federal government, since these states have to pay taxes, the federal government therefore is also losing money. You know, they're pushing for shit like this to be banned. And all those health experts that claim that they know shit about this that is dangerous in the US, and all those campaigns from the Center of Disease Control and everywhere else, FDA, all those campaigns that are ran on TV and advertisements and all this shit is actually insanely false. And if you want proof of that, this has happened time and time again in the United States. Now, I'm not going to get too much into this, but marijuana was banned for a similar issue. And the reason it was banned is because the government, the federal government, shifted the blame of Mexican, I forgot what the word was, but basically people struggling in drugs from Mexico and all those Mexican mafia, the Mexican mafia and all that. The reason they were so aggressive was because of marijuana? No, the issue was cocaine and other stuff, but they shift the blame on marijuana because marijuana is what was in their agenda to make it legal and ban. So then the federal government, paid, get this, federal government doctors, no way, the healthcare system is part of the freaking government, to, get this, since it's not technically part of the federal government, but they receive funding from them, they just hand a little money under the table. I want you to make up a false report about this. All of a sudden, false report from major doctor, goes to the CDC, goes through all this, gets all these stamps of approval, and all of a sudden people go, holy shit, even though marijuana's use dates back years into the United States history. The reason tobacco is any different is because it dates back as a cash crop. Marijuana dates back as medicinal use. Back in the 1800s, even early 1900s, before marijuana was actually criminalized, early recipes and even bottles of cough syrup that were sold had marijuana as a major ingredient. No way. People would freaking basically bake the marijuana, So the THC, well, so it'd be turned straight THC instead of, something that could be metabolized by your body through drinking it. I forgot what the exact term is, but basically, because when you smoke marijuana, it converts it. So they'd convert it over by baking it. And they'd shove that frickin', same thing you do for edibles, shove that straight into an alcohol solution and let it sit there and soak up. And they had the flavoring, the other stuff, but marijuana was one of the big things in cough syrups. So, and is used all kinds of other medicinal uses before it was banned, especially, in that time frame, mid to late 1800s, early 1900s. So if you're starting to think about that, then it's been used for centuries by different cultures. What's the issue? It's more than century. I don't understand. Point is, when you think about it, as far as that goes, you start to realize, the fuck is the U.S. doing? It's called politics. Now, getting into the point of in schools. Now that we've got all that covered, the basis of how nicotine's found in multiple products, how addiction occurs, the two big things to addiction, concentration and exposure. Now we can get into my issue. So if you actually are a nicotine addict like me, I know I'm underage, let's not get into my age, let's not get into any of that. And yes, I'm in high school, but, well, I dropped out and I'm going to be going back into high school this next school year. Point is I want to start more of a campaign for schools. Because currently the campaign they're running on, as I'll call it, is tobacco-free schools, or nicotine-free schools. And it's been that way for years. But that doesn't change that people are still addicted to nicotine. Even in high school, there are still students addicted to nicotine. Now, say you go and you go to a nicotine addict and you go, this? You're not allowed to have this all day. No. You can't even bring it into the building. Keep that shit at home if you have it. And then go, well, they're sitting there halfway through the school day, maybe even less, second block out of the 4 blocks. So yeah, halfway. Start of second block though, so about just over a quarter of the day in. And all they can think of is, holy shit, I need my fucking nicotine. Because they're sitting there having nicotine withdrawals. Now, I know it gets worse as the time period goes on throughout these days, if you stay off of it for multiple days, but the thing is if you take this away from me for 2 hours, I hit in the morning, so I get up at 6 o'clock, I hit in the morning, I get on the bus at 7, and when I go out to get on the bus at 7, leave it here. Actually, I'd get on the bus at 6 something. So I get on the bus at 6, I wake up at 5, I hit this, I get on the bus at 6, leave it here. 7 o'clock rolls by. I arrive at school. 7:30, 7:45 rolls by, class starts. 8 o'clock, class officially starts, I've had breakfast, everything's good. 9 o'clock, starting to get the urge for nicotine. 10 o'clock, I can't even focus on my schoolwork because I don't have that. That's just this shit's just gone. So yes, when we need to prevent future addicts, we also shouldn't be depriving people of what they need to be successful in the school environment. So if they're already addicted, you can't just be saying that, oh, well, you can't have that here, that's illegal, you gotta leave that shit at home. So all of a sudden these kids, I'll use the term kids very loosely, these teenagers, however you want to say it, I'm not going to get into that right now. These students, how I phrase it is that, students that are trying to learn, trying to have a piece of paper in front of them, with the words, math problems on it. They can't even start to comprehend that because their mind's racing. Think about how much they need this. Okay? That's my big issue with the way it's set up. When I was younger, and I never had this experience, even a year ago, before I first had this end up in my life, for a cigarette ended up in my life, any of that, I would have thought, why are these kids bringing vape to school? It just seems like a surefire way to get in trouble. Why don't they just leave them at home? I didn't know what it felt like. Once you understand, and that's what these school staff need to understand. So what school board superintendent, all of them need to understand is that's not just something they're choosing to bring, okay? Yes, they're choosing to bring it, but there's a few groups of people. There's posers, I'd say, because vaping is a trend. So there's the posers. They go, they'll either have zero nicotine and be ripping fat clouds off of that big freaking vape. And this is 50 nic, which is 5%, about 10 times as concentrated as a cigarette. Or you have the other posers, which will just go and do this. So any smoker would know that you inhale and would be able to properly inhale. This is not how you do it. That's not inhaling. I mean, yes, I did inhale technically to breathe it in. Most of the vapor stayed in my mouth or my throat. It didn't sit in my lungs, and actually, the nicotine was actually absorbed properly. And actually, stoner culture, or however you want to phrase, I don't want to throw terms out there. Hip, whatever. But if someone offers you weed and you do that, that's an issue because you're wasting the weed. And if you're questioning that, this is completely empty, but say I have a battery on this. I go, yo, dog, you want to hit this? And they go, you're wasting the. I'd go, you're wasting the fucking weed, man. Take an actual hit. Because you're not even going to feel effects from that. Now, if you go, and you're taking, this shit still tastes like cannabis. Fucking tossing that shit. But, yeah, I'm honestly need to get rid of that shit. Anyway, the point is, God, the taste of wax is so much different than the taste of weed, though. Okay, anyway, I need to stop that. Anyway, the point is, let me pause my music. I don't know if you hear in the background, but I need to dead silence other than me talking right now. So, let me turn off this flashlight and see if it changes any. Yeah, that definitely creates a dark spot above my head. Fuck it. Whatever. I guess what works. I mean, it is a spotlight and looks hella weird, but first video. Fuck it. Point is, posers are either going to be blowing fat clouds with zero nic. You're doing that, or if you catch someone, say you're a staff, you walk into a school bathroom, see someone vaping. One telltale sign whether they're actually an addict, an actual smoker, or someone who just got introduced to vaping by someone, is ask them to take a drag off of it. Drag is the term people use for taking a big hit off of something like that. So, if you ask them to take a big drag off of it, they're going to look at you like, are you using first thing that's going to go through my mind is, are you asking us to take a big drag off of our vape and your stuff? Reassure them that's okay. Ask them to take a big drag off of it. And if they go, and either zero it out, I wasn't fully zeroing out, but do that, or that, then they're either a poser with a really strong lung, or more than likely they're a smoker or a vapor, however you want to put it. It's definitely not their first time around the rodeo smoking. Now, if they go, yeah, man, yeah, man, and just start fucking coughing their lungs up, they try and take a big drag like this. Then, that's one telltale sign. Another thing is, watch around for disposables being passed around. Now, most of mine I've taken apart or cut up, doing other dumb shit with them, trying to make. Well, one time I was messing around trying to make a dispo mod. A vape mod, is a proper. This isn't a vape mod. This is a pod system, which means that's a pod, coil, pod, everything right here. A vape mod usually has a screw-on tank with a 510 adapter, or 510 thread, which is crap. I tossed the card earlier, but that's the same thread as the cart, which meaning if you have variable wattage, you can hit carts on them. Another thing to watch out for is marijuana use. That's a lot worse for the learning environment than nicotine use. It's nicotine use. They can still keep focused. They can still do what they're doing. Only flashes on the camera real quick. Now, I haven't smoked this in a while because I'm actually trying to get a job. But, oh my gosh, this fucking reeks. I should not be opening this indoors. But there's like nothing left in here. There's a whole bud, but now there's like nothing left in here. But marijuana use, however, oh my god, that fucking reeks. I'm gonna shut that quick. And not need my parents in here smelling that shit. Anyway, marijuana use, however, non-optimal learning environment. Because they're high, they're sitting there fucking either high or stoned or tripping, which is those are the big three stages. You're high, which means you just have a heady high. You can still think, but you're just definitely starting to get mind altered. Stoned, you're just like, yeah, bro. We're tripping, like, what the fuck is going on? Okay, those are the three stages of a marijuana high. But yeah, this is more of a threat than this. So that's some shit to watch out for, definitely. But one thing I will say is this is vape juice. See this? This is vape juice. See the color of it. See, it's a liquid. It's an e-liquid. It's another vape juice bottle. This, for example, is hand sanitizer. Might be like, why do I have this in here? Well, I don't know. I don't even care anymore. Where my huff tube went. But a while there, when I was experimenting with drugs, I tried huffing alcohol, which actually, if you look on the back of a hand sanitizer bottle, you have two options. It's either going to be isopropyl-based or ethyl alcohol-based. If it's ethyl alcohol-based, that's ethanol. That's grain alcohol. That's the kind of alcohol that gets you drunk. That's something that's in beer, whiskey, vodka, all that. That's what gets you drunk, is ethanol. Grain alcohol. So, now all I do is use to sanitize my hands, or if my hands smell like weed, back when I used to mess with that, I just clean my hands off with that. I tore this hide bar to shreds, but a hide bar, the actual top of it looks like that. I can post an image on there. You have puff bars, which, that shit. All this shit, the disposables are easy to hide. They're small. These are my prescription meds I take. They're supposed to take, but I usually don't take them because my mood has been increasingly stable, especially after I started this, which I guess that's one positive. And since I'm trying to create a campaign like this, that's another positive. This is also another Vic juice bottle. Also another sign. If you're a parent and you're looking in their room, there's actually videos on this already, so I guess I'll link those. But yeah. If you see something like this in your kid's room, or a box like this that he keeps stashed away, it's a good sign something's going on. I wish you could be here. The moment I crack this open, just, oh my god. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Oh my god. My eyes are watering from that. Holy shit. That shit's just, I wish I'd open that every day when I'm smoking and smoke it, but that shit just has been sitting there in that jar just building up the smell. That's a strong smell. What else did I want to show? That's the normal vape coil, and you can usually recognize them. They'll look like this. This is an RPM 2 style coil. RPM 1, because that's in here right now. I won't have one of them. The RPM 2 coil starts up anyway. Lighters in your kid's room. Your kid should not have a lighter lying around. Unless he's like me and does mechanic stuff and also likes lighting stuff on fire. Which, whatever. I've been doing it so many years, it's fine. Just as long as I don't do it indoors and I do it safely. It's not much of an issue. So, since I'm responsible to lighters, my parents know that. So, me having this is not too big of an issue. I even have a Zippo, but seeing that in your child's room could be an indication of him smoking, whether it's tobacco or whatnot. Or, if he has candles in his room and incense, that doesn't mean he's smoking. Unless you find other evidence, he might just like his room to smell good. He might just like candles every now and then. And if you're fine with that, that's that. Or if your child likes lighting shit on fire, and as long as you supervise him, that's fine. Or if you trust him enough, that's fine. If you have a nice big yard or a driveway, nice big yard, and likes starting small fires and just lighting shit on fire, okay, fine, so be it. What else? That's probably about it I have in here. But yeah, getting back to it, back to the core central point. What I'd prefer to see, at least a school starting, so I'm creating this campaign video, which I know this is very informal, is a tobacco, nicotine, safe school. Somewhere where there's already, let me put my piece back in my box, because I like to get the box. Is if the student is already addicted, you're not taking that away from him. But simultaneously, you're preventing people that aren't addicted from getting addicted. Now you're like, how can I do that? If there's vapes running rampant in the school, how can I track that? There's a system in prisons in the US already, depending on the prison. A lot of privatized prisons, even public prisons, have started this, where the person brings ID, barcode, scans it, gives them the vape, all that, and people are already 21 anyway. They've already. Here's my solution. You go, okay, This is your device right here. We already know you're addicted to nicotine. What we can do this can be done by a case by case thing. Just ban nicotine school wide. But if someone comes to you as a superintendent, or not superintendent, but principal of a school, you have a lockbox, okay? You put a label on it with their name and their school ID number. All right? And they come and they bring, where's my wallet? And they bring their school ID, right? This is from when I was in Stafford High School. So they bring their, let me just still block the barcode and the ID numbers. They bring their school ID, right? And since it's blurry enough anyway, you check that ID number. And maybe just scan it through a barcode slider if you're, if the school's already set up with that. And you go, okay, so that is you, Lucas Stefani. Okay. Like I said my name. Oh well. It's a campaign video anyway. Fuck it. Your name's Lucas. The photo matches. You're here to get your nicotine device. Well, your device. That's not even use the word nicotine in this. You're to get your device out of the lockbox. Here you go. Use it in the office, whatever. Back in the lockbox. That's it. That way you know that kid isn't running around sharing it with other people. If that kid's caught with a device outside of that special environment, outside of that safe zone, then he's in trouble. The issue is, if someone's already addicted, you can't just be like, you can't have that here. That is the issue I see. Not, oh yeah, no, don't be doing that around other people. Here's a lockbox. Bring your ID, someone will be at the desk. Principal's desk is perfect for this. You can hit it in here and then be on your merry way. I don't see an issue with that. If anyone does, please just leave it in the comments below. If a student's already addicted, if they need it, like not to the point where, yeah, I want to have a vape session, to the point where they're like, okay, I need back on track. I need the nicotine. I just need the nicotine to get through the day. Go to the principal. Beginning of the day, you go to the principal's office. Give him it, puts in the lockbox. In the day, you get it back, go on the bus, that's it. So the bus time frame could still be a bit iffy, but you know what? Once again, case by case situation. I'd rather have this be in a lockbox in the principal's office and have to go up there, have him check my school ID, or even if he knows who I am, but since there's probably more students than that to keep a track of, it's a case by case situation. If a student comes up to the principal and goes, first day of school, all right, I have a nicotine addiction, blah, blah. I mean, I do have a vape on me. Is there any way we can set up a lockbox system? That way, I'm not sharing this with other students. And this is just emergency situation in case it's to the point where I need it to get through the day. I see no issue with that. What I see the issue with is students going into even if the student has on his own person, right, in his pocket, not where it's visible to everyone else, in his pocket, and he goes to the bathroom. Not the kind that goes to the bathroom and goes in front of the mirror and goes, which is most students. I'm talking me, which would go into the stall. Let me turn this up to 25 watts. Go into the stall and simply do this. Not even a big drag. And that's it. I do that a couple times, put it back in my pocket. 2 minutes, I'm done. I get back to class. Not the kids that sit in there for 10, 15 minutes. I've set up 10, 15 minutes just doing this in front of the mirror. You know, I see that as the issue. Crap. No. I see those as the kids that are causing the issue. Also, the kids that go, yo, dude, look at my new vape, bro. Bro, you want to hit it? Yo, this shit tastes so fucking good. This is strawberry kiwi. You want to hit it, bro? Fuck those kids. If someone came in and said, yo, I see you have a vape. Can I hit it? I'm like, first of all, have you ever vaped? Kid goes, no. Let's go down this pathway real quick. Kid says, no. And I go, don't do it. I regret the moment I picked one of these up. I regret the moment entirely. I regret the moment I first vaped. You know, don't do it. Even if you don't regret it immediately, you'll regret it later in life. This is very hard to quit. It's not something you want to do. Why start an addiction in the first place when it's not even there? Why start something that you can't quit? Okay, and it's getting to max recording time this website pretty quickly. So the last thing I want to say. So the kid says, yeah, I vape before blah blah. I'm like, okay, then bring your own vape. Don't be asking me for my shit. Okay? I'm not going to share this with other people and get in trouble. If he somehow sees me vaping in a closed stall, zeroing out, or if he somehow sees the bulge in my pocket and asks if the vape, and if someone asks if it's a vape in my pocket, I'm going to be like, no. They ask what it is, and if this is a random kid, I'm just going to say, oh yeah, it's a USB power bank. If it's a staff member, same thing. I mean, yeah, that's lying, but I'm still not going to be going around school advertising that, yeah, I have a vape, guys. I have a fucking vape. Yo, you want to hit it? You want to? It's the same thing. Yeah, I might use weed on the weekends with my friends. I mean, I haven't done in a while. I might go, hey, yo, dogs, it's the weekend. You want to hang out? Yo, dog, just text my friend. Yo, dog, it's the weekend. You want to hang out and smoke? Okay, sure. Meet me at my house, and then I meet you at your house. And go outside, smoke some weed, you know, sit there high watching some television at night. In the middle of the day, watch there till night, have the munchies, eat a bunch of food, fall asleep, wake up the next day, and just, you know, hang out for the weekend. Next day, obviously, since that'd be Saturday, the next day would be Sunday, and the day after that, Monday, so the next day we would probably want to smoke, so I wouldn't be going to school. Because me, depends on the person. Me, when I smoke weed, I still have a buzz the next morning and throw up half the next day. Depending on how strong the weed is, of course, and how much I smoke, but still. I don't know what time of day I smoke it, previous day, but the point is, I would do it Saturday, Sunday I'd stay clean, then Monday I'd be clean enough to go to school. Point is, I'm not going to go to school and be like, yo, guys, I have weed, you want to fucking hang out? Yo, dude, this is so cool. No, I'm going to be like, yo, dog. Hit up my close friend, yo, dog, I have some weed, you want to hang out and chill? Okay. Where are we going to meet up? That's it. You have the kids at school going, yo, dog, I have this good ass fucking weed. Yo, you want to buy some? Yo, meet me out back at the school and we can smoke. Yo, this, that. Guys, come on. Like, what the fuck is that supposed to be? I honestly don't understand. Well, since I'm nearing the end of the amount of time I can record this video, this will be over and I'll start another one.